So look, what I'm about to break down in this particular video has cost me around 47,000 US dollars of my own money testing this stuff on my own self. You see, over the last 2 years, I've not really been focusing on growing my business. What I've been really doing is just figuring out and kind of being like Thanos and trying to collect the best client acquisition methods that I can then pass on to people like my little brother, my little cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my friends, my family. So the whole idea is this, and the whole idea behind this YouTube channel when I first even started this channel was to go out there and just test to see if these gurus are just full of shit or not. So basically what I've been doing is doing just that. All I do is just see a funnel, test the funnel, see a funnel, test the funnel, and then I report back to you guys what actually works and what doesn't. And I'm here to break down to you the absolute best free acquisition systems I can give you guys after spending almost 50 grand on this stuff, not to mention how many different programs I've bought over the last like 2 years. In fact, it's been so crazy that I'm buying so many of these gurus programs that they're actually starting to recognize me in the program inside the community sections. I'm not even joking. People are like, oh my days, are you the Montel dude that's on YouTube? I'm like, yeah, that's literally me. Anyway, what actually prompted me to do this video, let's jump straight into my computer. Here's Knowledge. I just want to shout out to Knowledge real quick. So I'm just going to break down these free acquisition systems for you, and I think these are going to be the absolute killers in 2026. I'm not even joking. So let me break down why, how they work, the maths behind them, and why you can leverage them yourself as well. Oh, and by the way, long time no see you guys. I haven't been on YouTube for a minute. Again, I've just been focusing on this sort of stuff. So 11 days ago, here's what Knowledge basically put into the group. He put, man, Montel, I gotta thank you. I just locked in my second high ticket client. He's new to this stuff, by the way. First one was via YouTube for $750. So YouTube, this what I'm doing here still is king. Now, before you turn this off, I'm gonna show you methods that you can go about using to get clients without having to put your face on camera, or should I say, without having to become a YouTuber anyway. So let's just relax for a second and take a look at this. So I will rank these in a little bit of a ranking system, but I think YouTube honestly is king for the long-term nurturing effects that it has. So YouTube, as you can see, got his first client through YouTube, $750 from the program, right? He then used what I like to call the CSL funnel. Now this funnel is I'm not even joking when I say I cannot beat this funnel. I literally cannot beat this funnel. I'm gonna show you proof in a second because we've got a lot of stuff to actually cover, as you can see. But as you can see, let me just quickly zoom back in on what Knowledge said. He basically closed his second client using the CSL funnel for 2K, right? This guy is running ads to basically a Canva presentation. I'm not even joking. It's literally a singular Canva. It's almost like a VSL. I know that you guys know what a VSL is, right? We'll break this down in a second. It's like a VSL without the video. So it's like you take the VSL, remove the video, just have the slideshows, have that embedded onto a page. You create the actual presentation within Canva, like literally canva.com, where you go and create thumbnails and stuff like that. Yes, that Canva. Embed it onto a funnel like Go High Level, and you send traffic to it because you've got the offer in the ad straight to the actual offer on the landing page. They click through the actual slideshow presentation itself. They then go to the next page, book in a call, and they turn up and you close them on the call because they already know what the offer is and what it entails because of the Canva presentation. This is what I taught Knowledge to do. It's a Canva presentation. It's an ad, literally like meta ads to a Canva presentation. You guys are not clocking, right? Like how crazy this is. Are you guys seeing how crazy this is? Let me quickly show you some more results with this particular funnel as well. This was only the other day. Messi, if you're watching this, shout out to you, my bro. I have made this guy a lot of money because this guy originally started with me inside of agency tramitation, and I believe I can remember getting him to like from 0 to like 5K a month for his agency relatively quickly. I do believe I've still got his screenshot somewhere from the previous program. Now he's enrolled into Client Synthesizer, which is the overall name I'm going for this particular program. So I'm just combining all my client acquisition systems into one place so you guys can have them. But he put, damn guys, this CSL thing is the best thing you can do. Listen to this. Since launching it, I've spent $150 on ads and booked 11 calls. Somebody do the maths in the comment section, because that's like less than $15 per call. And it's not just him that's seeing this. I did it. Knox has done this. I'll show you some more testimonies in a second. It's ridiculous. You can book calls anywhere from like $15 all the way up to like $70, depending on what niche you're in. And by the way, this works if you're a coach. It works if you're selling coaching, services, high ticket digital products. As long as you're selling something that's like 2.5K or more, I would even say maybe 2K, depends on what niche you're in. Anywhere between 2 and 5 to 5K and above, this stuff is absolutely killer. Anyway, long story short, close around 3K in deals from Meta ads plus one coaching client, which is absolutely amazing. And honestly, my calendar is fully booked with calls tomorrow. From the beginning of the day, I already have 4 calls. LOL. Take a look at this stuff. It's honestly insane. I've been running the CSL funnel for 3 days, $50 a day on ads, as you can see. And as you can see, his calendar just beautifully, filled up there. I probably should have scripted the names out or whatever, but I don't think we all speak. I believe that's Russian, I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it's Russian or something like that. Anyway, let me quickly just show you another couple testimonials so you know that this stuff is real. And then we'll just get into the actual stuff. Apologies for going into this, but I really want to show you guys that 2025 and 2026 is going to start getting harder and harder and harder to acquire clients. But I want to show you how crazy this funnel actually works. And I want to explain why it works so well as well. So we've got YouTube. I would say that's like your long-term play that you kind of just have to do these days. You just do that for 5 years. Don't even think about it. Just get on camera, talk your expertise, show that you know what you're talking about, have that, do exactly what I'm doing here, show your testimonials, everything, show your proof of results, all that good stuff. You have to do that for 5 years. However, that's not going to get you a client like this week. This stuff, the CSL stuff, can get you a client like tomorrow, the next day after that. As you saw, Messi just there, put $50 in for 3 days, that's $150, brought back out $3,000 plus a coaching client, which is insane. And that was for his actual agency. He does Meta ads for clients as well. So as you can see, it works for agency owners as well. Here's the quickest, funnily enough, the quickest I've ever scaled anybody to 10K a month. Knox, if you're watching this, honestly, this is still the craziest testimonial I've actually got. He sent me the video testimonial shouting me out and whatnot. But as you can see, I made a post in the community. Just got off a group call and I was on there with Knox King, and we basically broke down his ad metrics for Client Synthesizer, aka the CSL funnel. We basically was able to book him his first ever sales call. I don't think it was his first ever sales, it was his first ever sales call through ads, for just $17. Qualified call too. Imagine that. Your first $17 spent on ads, you booking a call, you've ever spent. Do you know how crazy that is? He ended up spending about $987 on ads over 15 days. So $65 a day, because he had like a limit on his, and that's how you know this shit's real. Like when if you know anything about running ads on Meta, when you get your first like ad account and you start running ads on it, you have limits on your account. Meta doesn't even allow you to spend that much because they think your account's probably like some spam account or some scam account or something like that. So they don't even let you spend that much money on it. But as you can see, his account was limited at $65 a day, or else I would have just told him, yo, just triple your, like literally just triple your ad spend. Because look at this, you got a 9.11 ROAS, return on ad spend, meaning for every $1 he puts into ads, he's getting you 9.1 back out, which is insane. So as you can see, resulting in him booking in 24 calls, that's $41 cost per call. So if you're wondering how much it's costing him to generate a call, it averaged out to be about $41 per call. He closed 3 clients at 3K each, so $9,000 in particular in cash collected, should I say. Yeah, I believe that was actually revenue, not cash collected. I think they may have done some split pays. In fact, no, I think it actually was cash collected, so apologies for that. So it was like $9,000 collected, just like that. At 17 years old, by the way. 17. Like, what do you do making that kind of money from ads at like 17 years old? I'll swear I was still playing like Pokemon cards. Anyway, so long story short, this stuff really does work, and I just want to zoom in on just like a screenshot of like my actual stuff, just so you guys know that like, yes, I've done all of this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. I've been able to generate around 1,400-ish. It's about 1,300-ish, I would actually say. New customers, I made up with like 1.1 million. This is not even up to date as well, because honestly, this last year I've just been focusing on just building acquisition systems and putting them into the program so that you guys know which ones are legit and which aren't legit. Then I'm gonna show you, I'm just not famous. I really am just not famous. So if you think you have to be like this massive influencer with 100,000 plus followers online to get this stuff to work, that's absolutely BS. I've only got like 17K followers on Instagram, and honestly, that's not a lot. There's people out there that have singular posts with more comments on them than I have followers in my entire friggin' Instagram. Then we have my obviously YouTube channel that you're watching right now. And I still think, like it says right here, just so you guys know, I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I personally still think YouTube is the absolute king, 10 out of 10, when it comes to getting clients, customers, whatever it is that you're trying to sell. Let's say you're selling a high ticket digital program like I do, or you're selling some sort of high ticket coaching or high ticket service or whatever it is, right? Or even just like even little digital products out there. I personally I'd rather you sell the higher ticket stuff. It's just so much easier to hit 10K. Just the maths is easy to do the maths, and you know what I mean? It's easier to get like 10 people to pay you 1K than it is to get you a bunch of people paying you like $27. You know what I mean? Like the maths is a little bit easier. Anyway, long story short, YouTube is amazing for getting high ticket clients, customers, sales, community members, whatever it is that you're trying to grow, right? The only problem is this. It really does take about 1 to 4, I know it says 2 to 4 years here. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you do it quicker than me. It takes about 1 to 3 years to grow, 1 to 5 years to grow, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I just want to show you as well that YouTube, honestly, the king of the kings. It's just that it takes a little bit too long. Now, if you take a look at my actual ad accounts here, I'll just quickly show you these. So as you can see, I've spent around $47,000 on ads over the last, like, I believe that's like the last 2 years. And all I've been doing for the last 2 years is just testing out if these gurus are full of shit or not, and finding out which funnels actually work. Some of them haven't worked. To be honest with you, a lot of them have worked. I would actually say the majority of them have worked. The only one I've really lost money on is doing a low ticket funnel. I know this is gonna sound crazy, how it's like, how did you make money selling high ticket stuff, but you can't make money selling the low ticket stuff? And I think the reason why is because I'm actually quite good at nurturing leads. So when I go from straight ad to trying to get somebody to pull out their credit card straight away, you have to rely heavily on copy and heavily on an offer. Whereas what I'm good at is I'm good at getting people's attention, nurturing that attention, explaining what it is that I have to offer, getting them warm, and then by the time they even get in contact with me, they were already sold anyway, and the checkout page or the sales call was just the point of transaction. So that's the difference I'm starting to see in 2025 going into 2026. And what I'll be focusing on is basically warming people up to the point where even if my landing page or sales call is completely shit, these people are still so kind of like sold in that they would have bought anyway. That's what I'm good at. I personally don't think I'm good at, so AKA what I'm trying to say is, I don't think I'm good at direct response marketing, where it's like straight from an ad, straight to a sales page to get a sale. Somebody pulling out their credit card, even if it's for $27. That was a $27 item I was trying to sell, right? I don't think I'm good at that. I think my strengths lay where I run an ad, turn that into branding, which I'll explain in a second, put them through some sort of social profile, I call them an incubator, put them through an incubator, and then by the time they reach out to me, they were already going to buy my stuff. It's just that they had a few questions that they needed answering, or they jump on a call with me, they just want like 1 or 2 questions answered, and then boom, they were already sold. I'm good at that. So I'm gonna keep playing to my strengths, but I know that that takes a long time to kind of like nurture these leads. So I'm gonna show you the CSL funnel as well. Now, again, guys, what I'm trying to say here is I really have spent a lot of money bringing you this stuff here. So all I ask for in return is just drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, right? Do the things with the YouTube buttons, right? It really does help me out, because honestly, I spent way too much money. I've done enough dilly-dallying, as we say over here, messing about with this funnel and that funnel and this funnel, and I've just been like all over the place like a headless chicken, testing out different things. You can go on my channel and look back at all the different videos I've been talking about, all these different things, right? Confusing everybody and doing all this sort of stuff. And the only reason for that is because there are multiple ways to skin the cat. And I just want to show you the best ways to skin the cat is what I'm trying to say. And I've spent 50 grand learning through ads, not to mention all the 3K and 2K and 1K and $500 programs and the 7K coaching program that I bought and all this crazy stuff to get to where I'm at right now, right? And to understand the stuff that I'm basically saying. So let me explain why I don't think the traditional VSL funnel is that great anymore. This is what a lot of gurus will tell you to actually run. And don't get me wrong, you can still make this profitable if you've got like a 6 to a 10K offer. If you're selling something, right, and that shit is priced at 6 grand to like 10 grand. Or if it's like a 3K a month reoccurring for like 3 months, so 9K in total, then you can get the VSL funnel to work. But let me just quickly show you why it doesn't work. In quick terms, long story short, there's too many steps within a traditional funnel these days to get people through. Ad costs are rising. These funnels, the effectiveness of these funnels are decreasing because skepticism is rising, market sophistication is rising too. So what I mean by this is, let's just actually just do the numbers, right? And if you guys want some sort of like, I've got like an ad calculator, like basically like an advertising calculator that basically you can punch your numbers in it and it will show you exactly how much you need to spend, how many book calls you probably get, and how many of those calls you'll probably close in order to then do like a profit projection. So if you guys want that, just DM me the word calculator on Instagram and I'll just send it to you for free. Anyway, here's what the traditional VSL funnel looks like, right? I'm just gonna spend my time going through this with you guys because honestly, if you can sit through this, you are serious about growing your business, right? You're deadly serious because nobody on the internet is talking about this stuff in this much depth and going through and is breaking these boring numbers down. But it has to be done. This is business. It's not the flashy stuff that you see on YouTube. This is real stuff here. So here's what the actual industry averages kind of look like, right? So we've got the ad to an opt-in page. Then they watch either your VSL or your webinar. Then you have the application page where they book in a call, they fill out an application, and then you have the call itself. But in between each one of these stages here, there's like a huge drop-off point. There's like a double drop-off point here, in fact. And I'm gonna explain what I mean. So, if you're running ads, industry average right now, it's costing people anywhere between $1.50 to like $4, sometimes even up to $6 if you're in a like very like, if you're I would say if you're in a small B2B niche, you're probably gonna like chiropractors, for example. If you're targeting like chiropractors above a certain level, you might expect to pay like $6, maybe even $8 per click. I'm not even joking. Like it's actually getting that expensive. So anyway, let's just take $2 per click. I think everybody understands that like that's kind of like the industry standard as all these people break down these funnels. So if it's gonna cost you, right, $2 to get a click, let's say we actually send 1,000 clicks through this funnel. Well, if we know it's at $2 to get one click, if we want 1,000 clicks to go through a funnel, I feel like that gives us enough data to actually see if the funnel works within itself. You know, it gives us a significant enough amount of data, 1,000 clicks does, to see if the funnel actually works. But that's going to cost you $2,000. So that's $2,000 already. The problem is that when you drive traffic from an ad to an opt-in page, only about 20 to maybe 25% of people are going to opt in, depending on how warm your traffic is or how cold the traffic is and what your offer is and how good your copy is. But we'll take 20% as the industry average. Obviously, there's going to be one dude in the comment section that's like, oh, I'm getting leads for like 30 cents and like this stuff is easy and the VSL funnels up. So there's always that one dude, okay? Exception doesn't make the rule. Anyway, long story short, I've noticed that about 40 to 50% of people won't even click play these days on a VSL. I tested this myself. I spent about $5,000 on YouTube ads just testing. Oh, but I didn't even mention my YouTube ads as well, so it's actually a little bit more than what you saw. It's about $3,000 to $5,000 on YouTube ads, and that's in British pounds as well, so it's a little bit more in US dollars on a VSL funnel. And I noticed that, and this is what made me come up with the CSL funnel. You know, they were clicking the ad, they were hitting the opt-in, and 80% of people I just paid for, right, weren't even opting in. So that means, let's say in this particular case, you spend 2K on ads, you get 1,000 clicks, 20% opt-in, that's 200 people that have actually opted in, that actually get to this particular video here. They've got past this bit, now they're here. Well, I've noticed at this particular point, and you can actually track this as well, about 40% of people that actually land on the page will click play. People aren't even clicking play on the VSLs anymore. So out of the 200 people that made it past the opt-in page and actually got to the video itself, barely anybody's even watching it. Like half the people are like just bouncing right there and then. Then what I've noticed is about 5 to 8% of people, you know, out of these 8, that by the way, that's 80 people. It's insane. So you're spending $2,000 to get 80 people to even just click play on this VSL. This is, and I explained this perfectly in my program as well. When I first built it, it's masterful to even see that people are still complaining about this. And I was trying to tell people this quite a while ago. But long story short, about 8, or should I say 5 to 8 people actually get to the end of your VSL, the actual video itself, because again, anywhere between 5 minutes to 15-ish minutes is normally what VSLs kind of like last. Only about 5 to 8% of people are actually going to make it to the end of the VSL where your actual offer is. So that if you actually do the math on that, that's about 8 people are going to book a call. If you have a 60% show up rate, because again, just because people actually booked in a call doesn't mean they're going to show up. You're not even considering the fact that if somebody books a call with you, there's going to be a drop-off rate for those that actually show up. People will ghost you, even if you have the greatest go high-level automations and follow-up sequences and email and SMS sequences that follow up with people, right? So I've noticed that with a traditional VSL, right, the average kind of like, this is like a decent cost per live call. This is not just cost per live call, this is cost per qualified live call, because I'm not even factoring in that some of these applicants won't be qualified. I'm just assuming that they're all qualified, right? Which is obviously not realistic. So if you close 1 in 5 of these people, which is 20%, you take the $416 per call, times it by 5, your customer acquisition cost, or your CPA, aka your CPA, which just stands for cost per acquisition, is about $2,000. This is why I believe all your favorite gurus recommend basically having a 6K plus offer so that you can aim for a 3x ROAS. This is getting harder and harder and harder, and this is not going to get easier, by the way. It's not like ad costs are going to go down. It's not like opt-in rates are going to go up. People are becoming more and more market sophisticated, so they understand what a VSL funnel is. They understand what a webinar funnel is. They understand that it's just a pitch, right? So this is where the genius of the CSL funnel comes in. This is why it exists, right? So I noticed a big trend. The opt-in pages, right, basically kill 80% of your traffic. They really do. A lot of people, and here's the thing, a lot of people will argue with me on this because they'll say, well, I'm collecting a person's name and email and their phone as well. And I'm like, well, do you have a dialing team that are dialing these numbers like 3 times a day for like the next 3 days, 4 days? And they're like, nah, not really. And then I asked them, well, what does your email follow-up sequence look like? And they're like, I don't really have one. So it's like, well, you might as well just get rid of the opt-in page and just go from ad straight to VSL. And then I realized that people still weren't watching the VSL because they knew it was just a sales video. So I said, what if we just remove the video itself and create a new medium? So this is where the CSL funnel was born. If you remove the opt-in page and you change the VSL into a CSL, so Canva Sales Letter, right, is what it stands for. And you take the same 1,000 clicks, and it still costs you the same clicks, right? It still costs you the same amount of money to get these 1,000 clicks. You're spending 2K on ads. But this time, all 1,000 people that click on your ad are actually going to see the CSL because it loads extremely quickly, and the very first bit of the actual CSL itself literally states your offer. So your offer is stated immediately and it loads instantaneously. So pretty much all 100% of people are going to see your offer, which already puts you in a slightly better position than what you was in before, because only 20% of people actually even get past your opt-in page. You know what I mean? Then what I've noticed is about 18% of people, I'll show you, about 18% of people go to the application page from the CSL because it's more interactive. When somebody clicks on a ad, they read the copy and they're already kind of in that reading mode. So when they click on the ad, they go to the next page. The next page is your CSL page. It's just straight on the page, like imagine a presentation just embedded onto a page and you can click through it. That's what a CSL is basically. People then go through this, they can actually interactively go through it, goes through your offer. Obviously there's a framework that I teach to actually help to make this successful and whatnot. You can't just throw any random presentation up or else that's not gonna work, or else we'll just all be driving traffic to friggin' presentations, you know what I mean? But long story short, 18% conversion rate is typically what we see. So we see around 80% of the people that actually click on the ad, get to the actual CSL, go to the actual next page, which is the application page. So the book call page, if you want to call it that. Then 30% of people actually book a call. Now we're actually booking calls for $56 US. As you can see, Messi here is doing a lot cheaper than that. $150 on ads, 11 calls booked. You saw Knox was getting his cost per book call was like $41 US. I was getting calls booked in for like $36. It's absolutely insane when I was running this sort of stuff. I don't run it now because I don't do sales calls. I'm actually trying to move into a different type of business model, or should I say, not a different business model. It's just that I'm trying to remove the sales calls and implement something else. That's another one of my wacky tests. I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes in the future. But long story short, let's say 20% are not qualified because obviously there's going to be much more volume in this particular funnel, but volume doesn't increase your quality. So there's gonna be a little bit of a quality bump. So 20% are not qualified, so you cancel them, which means you're gonna have around a $70 cost per qualified book call. If 50% of them show up, your cost per qualified live call is now $140. So you just double this number basically, because you're just factoring in that 50% of people aren't going to show up. We're just going to be harsh on this particular funnel. And then we still have a 20% close rate. That means your CAC has dropped from $2,000 all the way down to $700. And you can tell that this is actually quite high, this particular number, because people are actually spending $900 and getting free clients. I'll just quickly show you what I mean. Let me just quickly go over, show you what Knox did. Here you go. His cost per acquisition, as you can see, is $329. So he spent $987 on ads, closed 3 clients. You could do the maths there. You just divide that number by 3, and you can see all of that. Oh, by the way, Jay ended up spending, what did he do? He spent £500 on this exact same CSL funnel and brought back £15,000, which is about $20,000. So he spent, let's call it $700, $800 on this, and brought back 20 grand from this. The cost per call was $18 per call. Insane. This stuff still works to this day. Look at this. There you go. Here's Messi. This was only 11 days ago. Let me just quickly show you. This was only 11 days ago. So this stuff works like right now. Like this is still working like right now. So go and run this. It's honestly insane. So anyway, long story short, this CAC down here is 2.97 times cheaper. So for the same amount of money, you're going to get 2.97x the amount of clients. So what I love about this funnel, and this is like YouTube is the king, but we can't really talk about YouTube because like YouTube's off to the side on its own little category, because YouTube's a thing that you just do over time for years on end and kind of don't think about it for like 2 years. You just have to do that for 2 years until it starts becoming the king for you. In the meantime though, you need to start using paid traffic to get clients like today, because this allows you to basically launch your ads today and wake up in the morning with book calls on your calendar, fully automated book calls, by the way, without you having to do DMs or do any sort of like content or dancing around on TikTok or like, you know, doing cold outreach or relying on referrals or all that crazy stuff that you guys are doing. And by the way, with this method, I can literally book anywhere between 80 and 120 calls a week with this stuff. Not a month, I said a week. That's like 80 calls a week. Like 19 calls in a day you can actually book in, depending obviously on your particular ad spend and how much you're going to be spending. Now, that's the second funnel I highly recommend. So we've got YouTube the king. We'll just continue to do this. YouTube the king. That's in its own category though. So technically the CSL funnel is the king. The second king, I would say, and this funnel right here honestly made me, I believe it was $86,000 in the first 44 days of running this. I've already got a video on my channel. Oh, there you go. 86,000 in 44 days sending Instagram DMs. The only difference between this funnel, right, and the other funnel is this one does require you to handle some DM conversations or have a setter in your DMs basically. But the aim is kind of similar. You're running ads to get attention, right? But instead of driving people directly to a funnel, what we're doing with this is we're using our Instagram page as the funnel. So I like to call this the Instagram incubator funnel. You can even think about this in like YouTube. You can do this on YouTube technically. So you would use the way how I'm going to be doing this and in the future and whatnot is I'm going to be using Instagram ads to garner a lot of attention, because I can pay literally pennies on the dollar for like attention, right? Then I can send that attention over to this YouTube channel, nurture them, send them back, get them in my DMs, and then close them that way through the actual DMs themselves. Or I could get on a call if I want to reintroduce calls. So if you're a coach, service provider, genuinely this stuff is insane. I've got a student that did 150K profit with his agency. I believe, you know, from the start of his agency, he did 150K with his agency, and he's got like 150 subscribers on YouTube and like 1,000 followers on Instagram. And all he does is basically just Instagram, send them over to his YouTube, bring them back over to Instagram as they're having a conversation. Hey, did you check out my YouTube channel? Blah, 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 what did you think? Boom, let's get on a call, gets them on a call, and they're already sold, basically it. So incubator basically means like you put them through like this beautiful basket of like warmthness. Is that even a word? This beautiful basket of warmth, right? I'm making it words on this channel. And you basically warm them up over time. And this is what I meant earlier when I said, I don't think I'm a direct response guy, nor do I even think I want to play the direct response game. Because what I've noticed is, even when you get direct response marketing to work and you close clients that are kind of cold, your refund rate actually goes up a little bit, because people aren't as bought into you and your mission as they are if you put them through some sort of like incubator funnel. So the Instagram incubator funnel looks like this, right? And I think this is the fastest, I think this is the fastest way for you to just validate if you've got an offer that even works, just genuinely, except for the CSL funnel. To be fair, the CSL funnel is ridiculously fast because you can set your ads up today, and by the time you wake up, you will have calls booked on your calendar. It's literally that quick. However, the incubator funnel, what I mean by the fastest way to cash is, it's just so easy to just have conversations with a bunch of people in DMs, right? And just explain to them what it is that you do, where they are. You obviously ask them where they are, you diagnose their situation, figure out what's going on in their business, and you can see if they're just genuinely a good fit for an idea that you've got in your head. Let's say you have like an offer that's not really validated, and you're just thinking, maybe I can offer this. Well, the best way I've noticed to get people to buy my stuff, right, is just make a video and just be like, I'm thinking about coming out with this. Just DM me if you kind of just are interested in this. And then you just get people to DM you and you just basically break down what it is that it actually is, how it helps, how it works. Do you want in, yes or no? And people buy. That's kind of like how I built my actual digital program, Agency Transmutation. I just basically made some YouTube videos, and then I told people, hey, just DM me if you need help with anything. And then said, hey, I'm thinking about coming out with Agency Transmutation. Do you want to jump on a call? Jumped on a call with them, explained it to them, and they was like, yeah, I'll actually buy this. And then people, obviously I just put like a book call link below in my YouTube description, and it basically worked. But anyway, let me break down the actual Instagram incubator funnel. I'm revamping this for 2026 because what I just saw is literally insane. Let me explain something. So I was running ads, right, to a low ticket funnel. I was thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna blow up this low ticket funnel. I've got a bunch of money anyway. I got like $2,000 a day I can spend on this casually. 2, 3, 4 grand a day I can spend on this casually. I'm cool. I'm just gonna blow this low ticket funnel up, right? And then what I started realizing is, the people that were actually buying the low ticket stuff, they were going to my profile, they were dropping a follow, they were going through my content, they were dropping a comment on my actual like posts and stuff like that, which was then triggering an automated DM through ManyChat. And I was just having a conversation with these people, and I was like, hey, yeah, answering any last few questions, and then they were just going over to my checkout page and just buying. It was insane. Then I started looking at how many followers I was gaining per day, and I was gaining like 50 followers per day, and it reminded me of 2023 when I hit this crazy month here where I did 86k in 44 days. I don't even know why I stopped this. It's because obviously I went on my little tangent thing where I was just trying to find funnels to actually beat this, because I just thought maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I need something that's more cold traffic. So because I've already got like 15,000 followers on Instagram, maybe beginners can't follow me. So maybe I need to go and create something else, which I'm glad I did, because I came up with a CSL funnel, and now I've got these 2 behemoth, ridiculously strong funnels that I can actually just go back to and book calls with at any time. But let me quickly just show you what the Instagram incubator funnel looks like. So it's you run an ad to get Instagram DM combos this time. You in those combos, you qualify them, you get them on a call, and you close them that way. So the math works out to be like this. Look, so let's say you spend the same this is the same 2K you're spending on all of these funnels, right? So 2K on the CSL funnel, 2K on the traditional VSL funnel, which we saw was like, you probably won't even get a client through the traditional way, because it cost you like $2,083, remember? The CSL funnel was 2.97 times cheaper, roughly about that particular thing, and that's what I keep seeing consistently over and over and over again. You just saw Knowledge, you just saw Knox, you just saw Messi, you just saw Jay, you saw all of these people using the CSL funnel. These are real people, by the way, so feel free to go onto my Instagram, go find them, DM them, and ask them if this is actually like, if it's legit or not, right? Long story short though, spend the same $2,000 on the actual Instagram incubator funnel, right? If your CPM is like $12, it's a little bit cheaper because we're running like engagement campaigns here, so it will be a little bit cheaper. That means you're gonna get 166,000 people seeing your ad. Here's the key: your offer needs to be in the ad. This is what I mean by funnel friction. Let me explain something about funnel friction. Funnel friction is where you have multiple steps in between the funnel. So obviously this had an opt-in page here, right? Remember, it was ad, this was the opt-in page, this was the opt-in page, every single step you make people go down is an actual friction point. So basically what we're trying to do with the actual Instagram DM funnel, or the Instagram incubator funnel, is go straight for imagine you could take your VSL and make a mini one of them and have like a mini VSL ad and then direct them straight to your DMs, which then directs them straight to a call. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to remove as many steps to actually speaking with the actual prospects themselves, right? So it's VSL ad to DMs to call. And again, what we're trying to do one more time is we're removing as many steps as we possibly can. So much so that I can probably guarantee that this will probably work for you. Running just take your VSL, right? Make a 5-minute version of it and run that VSL as the ad, and then just directly drop, when people click the ad, just directly drop them into either your DMs or an application page where they can book a call. So just skip all of this shit, basically. Skip all of this shit and just take them from VSL. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to remove every single step from the funnel. You see what I'm trying to say? Like the less steps I've noticed you have in a funnel, the better. If you're gonna go for direct traffic, that is. So ad, but this time you're just gonna take your VSL, instead of getting them to watch it on the landing page, why don't you just remove the landing page and just get them to watch it in the ad itself. So your actual ad is the VSL. You then get them straight to watch the VSL, which is the ad itself, and then you get them straight to the application page, which then books them on a call. This will probably get you so many more, it will get you so many more calls. Obviously you gotta weed through a lot more people, but weeding through a lot of people just means you just look through people's applications, you cancel the calls that you don't like, or you don't sound like a good fit. You know what I mean? That's what I love about that. Anyway, long story short, that's what the incubator funnel does, but it also allows you to build a brand over time as well. So I love this particular funnel. So the incubator funnel, there's actually 2 versions of it. Technically there's 3. I'm developing a 3rd one. I'm not going to tell you about it just yet, but I'm going to keep that under wraps for now, but I'm developing this 3rd one. I kind of hinted at it a second ago, but long story short, here's what we're going to do for this Instagram incubator funnel. And these are the only methods I would use in 2026 if I was you guys. As well as if you're a beginner, obviously there's Upwork still about, so you can actually build your cash up and then you can obviously jump into these funnels. So Upwork is like the stepping stone to get you to this sort of stuff. Anyway, long story short, I thought I'd just throw that in there because people are still getting results with Upwork. Funnily enough, I've just got some screenshots if you don't believe me in a second. Anyway, long story short, incubator funnel. Add to Instagram DMs to get people in your conversations, have conversations with them, get them on a call, and you close them. So if you spend 2K on this, right? Here's what I've noticed. Let's say it costs you about $10 to get a DM, which is a little bit high. Typically it's about $6 to anywhere to like $6 to about $10. Obviously it depends on your niche and obviously your offer and all that crazy stuff and how good you are at like creating the actual creatives itself with the Andromeda update and all that good stuff, right? Who you're targeting, you know, all that good stuff. Long story short, $10 per DM, that means you're gonna get about 200 DMs. 60% of those, let's say, will be qualified. Because what we can do is we can actually go through the conversations and actually qualify them ourselves through the actual conversation. So yes, there is more manual work with this, but the ROAS on this is so much higher. Because what I've noticed is the more automated a funnel is, the more it costs to get people through that automation. The less automated something is, and the more manual work you put in, the more money you save because you're manually doing that work yourself. So you can either pay with time or you pay with money. You know what I mean? So this is like a good in between. So if you're kind of strapped for cash, this is the funnel that I would probably use, right? So it'd be like this: 60% of those that DM you are probably going to be qualified. Let's say out of the 60%, you book about 30% of those people. Out of the 6% that are qualified, for some reason you can only book 30% of them onto a call because they're just ready right there and then. That means you're going to get about 36-ish booked calls, which is about $55 per book call. 60% of them show because you have, you know, it's a little bit higher at this particular point. The reason why is because you obviously have their Instagram handle now, so you can actually just call them on Instagram if they don't join the Zoom call, or you can just DM them on Instagram and be like, hey, our Zoom call's in like 10 minutes. Are you going to be there? Boom. They're already probably following you at this time, at this particular point as well. So you've got better setting process in that particular case. So you've got about 21.6 qualified live calls. That's basically what that says, which means your cost per qualified live call is around $92 US. If you close 1 in 4, and again, these are going to be slightly warmer leads. Why are they going to be warmer calls, or should I say they're going to be warmer sales calls, not warmer leads. Technically, they're warmer leads and warmer sales calls. The reason why they're warmer sales calls is because you're actually having a more personalized conversation with them in the DMs. They can ask you any question. You can send them over a voice note. You can send them over a Loom video. You can send them over just an Instagram native video where you just record, pull out your selfie camera, you just start recording yourself on the camera. So your CAC is going to be a little bit lower. So it's about $370 CAC, which means spending $370 to get one client back, which is actually 5.62 times cheaper than the traditional VSL that we saw with all those funnel steps, right? This also has long tail benefits to it as well. Long tail effect basically means there's like a double flywheel effect. The more you run these DM ads, the more you build up, right, your followers and your retargeting list, because you can actually retarget people that have actually interacted with your Instagram page and watch videos and all that sort of stuff and liked posts and engaged with your content. And then obviously the other version of this, which is basically like its little brother, which is like the follower ad. So you get followers to basically just you say, this is who I am, this is who I help, if you're interested in this, drop me a follow, right? This particular ad is more like, hey, this is the offer I basically have, or this is the thing that I can do for people, this is the results I've been able to achieve. If you're this person, you might want to just DM me because I've got this free resource that you can come and get. Kind of like what I did in this video earlier, where I said, hey, I've got a calculator you can go and grab for free. Just basically give out a free lead magnet, basically, long story short. Create something that's actually valuable as well, like my ad calculator that I've got. So long story short, and by the way, if you want that, just literally just DM me, practicing what I preach, as you can see, just DM me the word calculator, I'll send it over to you for free, like legit, it's actually quite good. But long story short, the follower ad is basically the same thing. I'm this person, I can help this person. There's different scripts you can use. Follow me if you're interested, or follow me and steal my systems for free, right? And the aim here is to get people to follow you, to get them to go through your content, to look through your story highlights. So make sure your profile, if you're gonna run any of these two funnels, the incubator funnel, right? Whichever variation you're gonna run, make sure your actual profile itself on Instagram is optimized for getting new followers. Because if people are clicking your ad, they're interested, but they're not following you, that's not a broken ad. That's a broken funnel. That's a broken profile, should I say. So your profile, remember, is the funnel at this particular point. So if people aren't following you, it's because you're not putting stuff worthy of being followed. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that you're putting out there is not worthy of them dropping a follow for you. So that's how you kind of like fix that. So this particular funnel here is a little bit, I would say it's a little bit cheaper for beginners. So if you're a true beginner that's just past the Upwork stage, then the first funnel I would probably get you to run is this funnel, the actual follower version first, and then the DM version probably second, in your first and second week. The reason why is because followers are much cheaper. You can get followers for like $3 per follow. So let's say you spend 2K on ads, right? Obviously, let's say you spend whatever budget you got. Let's say you spend $500 on ads, right? I'd probably get you to run this funnel. Try and get your cost per follower down to like $2 per follow. Now you've got 250 new followers coming in. If like 80% of them are like quality, well then we've got, let's say it's 250, take away 10% of that, which is 25, taking over 25. So it's like 200 people that are actually qualified. You got 200 people to reach out to now, right? Reach out to those 200 people. Out of those 200 people, you should be able to book at least 5 calls, close one. See what I'm trying to say? Your CAC would be $500 there. But we can actually get the CAC down a little bit more by spending more, because the more you spend, the more your social proof you get, all that good stuff. So let's say your cost per follower is $3. You spend 2K on these particular ads. That's 667 brand new followers. 70% of them are probably going to be qualified, which means you've got about 466 people you can go and reach out to now. And yes, this is manual DMs that you're gonna go reach out to all these new followers. Everybody that likes your ad, anybody that likes your content, you're gonna be like an absolute bloodhound DMing these people manually, or you can obviously have a setter in place. I recommend doing this yourself first. Get your sales process down by yourself first. Figure out how to actually sell your offer first, and then obviously outsourcing that in the future. So this is where I would actually start if I was you guys, right? It would be follower ads. I'm going to be doing a 2.0 version of this in the future. I'll explain maybe in a little bit. I might keep it a secret, but honestly, it's a dope little strategy. I might keep it to my private clients inside of Client Synthesizer, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not too sure if in fact, I might reveal it later. But long story short, $3 per follow, 667 followers, 70% of those should be qualified. If you reach out to all the ones that are qualified, it's about 466 DMs you can actually, conversation you can have with people. Just be careful of sending that many DMs out to people. If you book 15% of those, that's like 70 frigging calls booked out of this number. You do the maths on this. 70%. If you close 10% of just these numbers, as you can see, I've actually dropped the number for you. It's like 7 clients. 7 clients, that's $285 customer acquisition cost, or CAC basically, which is 7.3 times cheaper than the VSL. And I found that to be quite true, to be honest with you. That's how I hit like 86K in 44 days. It was a combination of these two funnels. And in 2026, I will be focusing on this particular funnel with an extra step at the beginning. This is kind of like my little secret. I kind of want to keep a secret, but something that I've been working on, long story short. But what I've noticed with this funnel here is that a lot of people complain that the original front end ad where you tell people to follow you doesn't really work that well anymore because it doesn't qualify them that much. So I figured out that if you actually put a certain type of ad in front of them first, right? Ad here, and by the way, you can spend like $10 a day on this ad. It's like $10 a day. $10 a day on this particular ad. Then what you do is you retarget all the people that have interacted with this ad and you send them, right? You send them down into the follower ad itself. So if you interact with this particular ad, basically this ad here is set up in a way that I know if you interact with this ad in a certain type of way, I'm putting you on a retargeting bucket list, what you call a custom audience. And it's only gonna cost me $10 to do this. We're going to use a very specific campaign objective, right? And which is going to basically allow me to build a custom audience on the back end of Facebook and back end of Meta, whatever you want to call it, the ads manager. And then I'm going to show you the follower ads. And then I'm going to show you the ads to DM me. This is basically going to act as the gate. I'm actually going to call this the prospecting video. Prospecting video basically weeds out anybody that's not serious, and then what we do is retarget the people that are serious, which they will be that like there's no mistaking if these people if they engage with this particular ad, a prospecting video beforehand, I know it's good to retarget those people. But that, guys, is how I'm going to start growing my business again, as I've not been focusing on growth for a very, very, very long time. I actually took the year out, probably about a year and a bit out, to be honest with you, just testing a lot and launching a lot of different stuff, testing to see what really, really works. Because again, I really just want to build a company where it's just like, I just show you the acquisition systems. Like if you got an offer, like this is my idea in my head, right? This is what I want to build. I want to build a company that allows you to come in with an offer. You're like, yo, Montel, I've got this offer. It's this much. How do I get clients for it? And I'm like, okay, we can try. Well, we've got this acquisition system. I've tried this. I've got this acquisition. I've tried this. I've got this acquisition. I've tried this. These are your best 3 thingies. I'm going to start you off with this one. Boom. If that doesn't work, we've got another one. We've got another one. I want that to be that's like my vision, if you will. So obviously I've got to start somewhere in collecting these acquisition systems, like I'm friggin' Thanos with the Infinity Stones. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of see myself. But long story short, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just to recap, the king of all acquisition, I think, in 2026 is going to be YouTube. Everybody hates the fact that that's going to be that one as well, because it makes you, it forces you to be on camera. Just, it is what it is. The next one, I think, the most immediately quick way to book calls on your calendar, even though they're slightly more cold, is the CSL funnel. And then my favorite way, because obviously this is going to allow you to have DM conversations, so I won't even need to take sales calls with these people, is the Instagram incubator funnel. Because you can then incubate them onto your YouTube, incubate them onto your email list, incubate them just straight onto your Instagram profile, and just hit them up with free retargeting, because they watch your stories and they now are going to see your future posts and your past posts and your story highlights and everything that you post going forwards. So those are what I would do. If you was strapped for cash, I would obviously probably use Upwork, build yourself up a little bit. I've still got the modules inside of Client Synthesize if you want to check that out or whatever, right? Just DM me on Instagram. You can go through, get clients using the Upwork stuff, and then throw them into, I would start with the actual Instagram incubator funnel. The reason why is because you can technically get cheaper cost per book calls. Because if you're getting followers at $3 per follow and you spend $100, well then you've got like 33 people you can go reach out to. If you just book one of those, on 2 of those, 3 of those onto a call, you've just literally dropped your cost per book call all the way down to like $33. You get the idea. Anyway, that being said, hope you've enjoyed this long ass video. Hope this has been helpful for you, but these are the acquisition systems I would stick to if I was you going into 2026. Love you guys. Peace.